Hello, numerator. Welcome back. All right, so we are in Chapter 5, Section 2 of Blitzer's PreCalculus, 5th edition, copyright 2013, page 643, number 102. Okay, we're now asked to evaluate this expression, the cosine of the arc cosine of rad 3 over 2. I like to say the angle whose cosine is rad 3 over 2, because an arc cosine is an angle. We're plugging in the cosine, we're getting the angle out, right? So minus the arc sine of the angle whose sine is negative a half. Okay. Okay, let's leave it at that. Let's see. Let's make this my notes a little bit bigger here. Alrighty. We don't want to see this guy. I forget. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the trig identity that says the cosine of the difference of two angles is the cosine of the first times the cosine of the second plus the sine of the first times the sine of the second. So the cosine of the angle whose cosine is rad 3 over 2 times the cosine of the angle whose sine is negative a half plus, well, this is not going to fit, is it? All right, let's put it here. Plus the sine of the first angle, which is the angle whose cosine is rad 3 over negative rad 3 over 2. Sorry, this is negative here. So that's negative, that's negative. Negative rad 3 over 2 times the sine of the second angle, which is the angle whose sine is negative a half. All right, so since cosine and arc cosine are inverse functions, the cosine of the angle whose sine is, the cosine of the angle whose cosine is negative rad 3 over 2, well, is negative rad 3 over 2, isn't it? That's this piece. This piece, I need the cosine of the angle whose sine is negative a half. All right, so if the sine is negative a half, let's see. Can we construct an angle whose sine is negative a half? This is theta. This is alpha. That's a right angle. So I don't know what the x value is. So x squared plus y squared, well, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? So x squared plus 1 is 4. X squared is going to be 3, so x is going to be rad 3. All right, so I want, this is what I'm doing now, right? I'm doing the cosine of the angle whose sine is negative a half. That angle has a sine of negative a half, so the cosine would be rad 3 over 2, the adjacent over the hypotenuse, right? Okay, so rad 3 over 2. There you go. Okay, plus the sine the sine of the arc cosine of negative rad 3 over 2. Okay, so let's see. I want a cosine which is negative rad 3 over 2. All right, let's try to do that. So let's say this is negative rad 3, and this is 2. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit, just to make it a little more complete. All right, so what's the y value over there if this is a right triangle? Well, let's see, y squared plus negative rad 3 squared equals 2 squared. So y squared plus 3 is 4. So y squared is 1. So y is plus minus 1. Let's take the absolute value because it's a hypotenuse or a distance. So y is 1. So what do we want there? We want the sine, which is, the y value is 1, so 1/2. Okay. Right, the opposite side, y is 1 over the hypotenuse. So katoa is 1/2. Perfect. And then that was this piece. Now let's do this piece. The sine of the angle whose sine is negative a half is, well, negative a half. Good. All right, so I got negative rad 3 times rad 3 is negative 3 over 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 times a negative 1 is a negative 1 over 2 times 2 is 4. So negative 4 over 4 is negative 1, is it not? Yep, so that's your answer. Negative 1. Okay, hope that was helpful. Numerate. Good luck with your homework. See you next time. Bye-bye.